Hello everybody and welcome to Willa Dean's. Today we're going to make a meatball submarine sandwich or a meatball sub. I like the meatball subs, they taste great. Today we're going to start out by making our bread. So we got some bread flour in here and we got some yeast. We have some oil. We have some water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the bread mixed up and get it kneaded out and get it ready to start rising. And then we have some ground beef and some pork that we're going to make our meatballs with. And we also got some sauce we're going to put together. So I'm going to get to work and then I'll be back once we get our bread ready to be rising. Okay, so the bread has been kneaded out. The bread dough is here. We're going to put it in the bowl. We're going to cover this bowl up with plastic and let it rise. And then we're going to shape out our sandwich rolls. Okay, look at our bread. It's been rising. It's doubled in size at least. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out of the bowl and then we're going to shape it up so it can become our sandwich roll. So we're just going to get this down on the counter, kind of shape it out some. Stretch it out a little. Like so. Maybe a little bit longer. Okay, what I'd like to do is I usually just going to fold this dough a little bit. Just going to put a little moisture on it here. Helps it stick better. Okay, so that's just a little water. And now what we're going to do is we're going to roll this piece here, roll this piece here, roll this piece here like this. And I kind of roll it a little bit more. I want to shape it up. Now, so we got about a 12-inch roll here, and we're going to put it on our tray and we're going to let this rise again. So I'm going to lift this up. And what I've done with this tray is I kind of made a makeshift pan here so our dough actually gets some height on it and not just come out long or wide. So we kind of want it to come up a little bit. So this has got to rise for a little while. So we're going to put this back over here for maybe another hour and 90 minutes. Okay, so it's time for our meatballs. So first thing we have here is we have an egg that we're going to put into our meat that we have here. We have some ground beef and 2 Italian sausage links. So this is going to be our meat for our meatballs. And we're going to add the egg to that. I have some spices here, salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic, granulated garlic, and some coriander seeds in here. I have some fresh oregano and thyme chopped up in this little bowl here. There's some fresh herbs. We have a mixture of onion, celery, carrots, and garlic, finely chopped in this bowl here. Gonna mix that up in the meat mixture. We have some breadcrumbs here, 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs we're gonna use. And I have my own spice blend here of some jalapenos, garlic, and cilantro with a little bit of mint. I kind of put it all in the blender. I roasted the jalapenos, put it in the blender with some olive oil and made me a little spice mixer. That's gonna kick it up a little bit, make it a little spicy hot. And I always add just a little bit of cream to my meatballs or meatloaf. Not a lot. I mean, maybe not even an eighth of a cup, just a little bit as I mix it in there with the egg. So I got a little prep work to do before I get this mixed up, and then we'll get our meatballs started. Okay, so we have a meat mixture here mixed up for our meatballs. I added the ingredients to them. You might have noticed I added all of the ingredients into the eggs except the breadcrumbs. Kind of mix it all in there together. I think it kind of gets it spread through the meat a little more evenly when I do it that way. So the next thing is we have our meat. We're going to mix up some meatballs. Okay, so our meatballs are rolled out. Going to get them cooking here in a second. Okay, folks, it's time to cook the meatballs. So we're going to get them in this hot pan here. Put them in the hot pan, we get a nice sear on them. Yeah, so we're going to cook these off, and then we're going to get our sauce ready. We'll have to get our bread in the oven, and it's ready for the oven. And soon we'll have us some meatball sub. So we're going to let this cook, and we'll be back. Okay, so we got to get our red sauce going here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in there. We're just going to extract some of the flavor out of these green onions. They're not actually going to go on the sandwich. And we also have a little bit of vegetables and herbs I'm going to put in here as well. Not a lot. I'm just going to season it up a little bit. There's already lots of flavor in our meatballs, so this sauce is just a little bit extra flavor. And of course we need the sauce because we're going to melt down some cheese on it, and we're going to have us a meatball sub. So we're getting there. Okay, so that looks good enough for this. The next thing we're going to do, going to add some tomatoes. Put tomatoes in there. Add a little water to this. All right. All right, so now I'm gonna let this cook some. I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper to this. Add some pepper here. And just a little dash of salt. And now meatballs should be out of the oven in a minute. We're gonna add the meatballs to this sauce. and we're almost ready to go. Okay, so the meatballs are in the sauce now, so they're good to go. We're just going to cover these up and let these stay warm. Our bread is still rising. We're going to get that bread in the oven. We're going to let it cool off. We're going to make us a meatball sandwich. We're getting there. Okay, so our bread has risen. See, it has risen up there. I kind of made me a little makeshift tray, a rack pan, if you want to call it that. And I got a pretty good loaf out of that, so it looks pretty good. It's risen up. It's got some height to it now. And yeah, we're going to get this in the oven in 1 second. So what you can do at home is you sprinkle a little bit of flour on the top of the bread, and that's going to give it a rustic look once it bakes in the oven. So I'm just sprinkling that over the top. Not sure how well you could see that. So it has a nice little flour layer on the top. And I have a pan in the oven that's heating up with the oven, and I'm going to pour 2 cups of water in that pan when I put this bread in the oven, and that's going to give it a nice crust on the outside. So the bread's going in the oven, we'll get it out, get it on the rack, get it cooling, and then we'll be back. Okay, so our meatball sandwich is put together. We got some meatballs in there, 2 types of mozzarella and some provolone cheese. This has to go in the oven, get that cheese melted, and we'll be ready to put it on the plate. Okay folks, so we have the meatball sub here. We have it all put together. We have the meatballs in there, the cheese, there's lots of cheese in there. We have the homemade bread, freshly made bread. I have some herb crusted potatoes here. They just have a bunch of green herbs mixed in with some olive oil and cooked in with the potatoes. And I have some freshly pickled cucumbers over here. So this was our meatball sub. We got it put together and looks like it's going to be a good sandwich, fill you up. I want to thank everybody for viewing. I hope you can try this recipe one day and enjoy it for yourself. Thank you. Have a good day.